No, I have voices in my head.
Game time.
Getting tabled.
Getting tabled.
Getting tabled.
Getting tabled.
Getting tabled.
Getting tabled.
With the Bruce and the Yank.
Hello, future people, and you are again listening to Getting Tabled with your host, Captain Socks.
It's Yanks, George. Yanks. We've been doing this for how long now? Yanks. Come on, let's get it right now.
Yeah, but it's a thing now.
I know it
And
is.
of course, we got a Bruce.
Yes, we do have a Bruce. And Bruce has super glue.
But the super glue cannot fix the microphone cable.
No, yes, apologies, guys. My audio is going to be a little bit this episode. My microphone has been failing, which is why my 2 unboxings I had planned for this week have not happened, unfortunately. Yeah, so we're just making do with the webcam microphone for now. Again, apologies.
It's not too terrible, but there's a different quality difference there, Bruce. But you sound as good as you can sound.
Pretty much. That's the only option I've got other than sitting here on the phone.
Alrighty, let's jump into some of this stuff.
Newly received or noteworthy information, especially about recent or important events.
News!
Yes! So,
The first bit of news I've been super excited and waiting for.
yeah. Okay. Upzone is a pop-up terrain system. Literally, a pop-up terrain system. You open the book and the terrain pops up. There's a couple of things we would need to talk about with this, though. Because news was released 2 days ago when the creator of this discovered that someone has stolen the images from the Kickstarter, created a fake web page, and paid for Facebook advertisement to basically scam the Facebook community. It's all over Instagram too, apparently.
Shocking.
If you are interested in this, make sure you're following the links to the Kickstarter specifically. Any other links that you're going to, whether you're following links from us or other people, if you end up going to a website that's not Kickstarter, it's fake at this particular point in time. This was actually started originally as a lockdown project.
Yeah.
You can literally build a 6x4 table out of this stuff.
So, and what I like about this stuff is essentially it's $100 a set for a 6x4 board. Which, if you calculate up terrain and everything for a board, $100 is stupid cheap. The other thing I like about it, if you can get in on the Kickstarter, there's 3 levels of pledges. You can get 1, 2, or 3 zones for this terrain. But if you get the level to where you get all 3, you essentially will get a 4th board as part of the Kickstarter campaign. Now, I unfortunately can't do much with this because of the time of year, but this is for all the people interested in this. The Kickstarter has stated not all Kickstarter rewards will be available in the Pledge Manager. So some stuff on the Kickstarter you can only get on the Kickstarter, not through the Pledge Manager.
I hadn't actually noticed that.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I guess because I don't know. Trying to live up to the actual Kickstarter exclusive side of things, I suppose. I guess I can understand from that point of view. But you get money out of every dollar on Kickstarter. It would make more sense from a business point. So he's actually giving money up to do that, essentially.
Yeah. So I will say this, though. As long as, if I could go back, in the Pledge Manager say, yes, I want the 3rd level for the 3 boards, and then the fourth board, if that's all I get is the fourth board, I will still be more than happy with that because what is it, 290 for all three? So 290 for 4 game boards essentially.
Yep.
That's really cheap. The other thing that shocked me a little bit too, and you were even, I think, impressed by this too, Bruce. Shipping to Australia is actually fairly reasonable on this.
Like, insanely so. It's insanely reasonable. Which is just doesn't happen. Let me double check.
30,
I remember being impressed, but I don't remember how much it was.
33 for the lowest level, 43 for the second, and 63 for all three for the third level.
I mean, it's not the best I've seen, but this stuff is not going to be light. Like, that's actually quite reasonable.
Well, it's going to be lighter than MDF, but it's still going to be a lot of paper and cardboard. So yeah.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is it's easy to store too. I mean, because all you're going to do is fold up these things, put them into maybe a plastic container just to keep them from not getting moisture if you're in humid areas. But storing's going to be very, very easy compared to the other terrain that we have, as we're all accustomed to.
Yeah, I mean, look at over my shoulder here, Socks. I mean, look what
exactly.
I've got for terrain.
Yeah, I've got pretty much the exact same thing with all my storage stuff.
But this stuff, what was that, Bruce?
Most of my terrain's still not built.
Yeah, this stuff, you open the box and you unfold it, it's built. And it'll store away like a normal board game.
Yeah.
So, also worth mentioning, he funded in 3 hours and is currently sitting at $286,000 of a $50,000 goal. With 18 days to go.
I was about to say that myself.
For like a little over a week.
Yeah. So, I'd seen this probably about 4 or 5 months ago. I think you were still overseas, Socks, and I remember seeing this. I was just like, "Ooh, this is going to be something good."
Mm. The art style on this is amazing too. I mean, the Totally Not a Necron Pyramid is probably my favorite piece, personally.
Are you talking about the Obsidian Zone or just the Ancient Zone?
Obsidian Pyramid.
Yeah, the one that kind of
Totally Not a Necron.
on green and black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one is pretty cool. And just
I mean, it's essentially just an art style version of the other one, but
correct.
Just looks so much better.
Yeah, and just even on the Kickstarter, it shows 6 games just there that you could use it, but beyond that, you could use it for pretty much anything you have in mind.
Yeah.
Anything that is 28 millimeter essentially is going to work fine on this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which that's about what everything is 28 millimeter. So
yeah, you're probably 40 mil is probably where you get to the point of where things are getting obvious at that point. It's basically, I struggle to see a difference in 32 mil.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for this. I'm glad it got funded. I want to hit market because that could be a very easy, here's a new thing you can go to your store and just buy.
Yeah.
I can see this being a great thing for TOs, stores in general. Just like, oh yeah, here's our terrain. Check one out. You damage it. Here you go. You buy a new one, and we'll just put the new one on the shelf.
Yeah, that's fair.
Next, is Bruce excited because Blood Bowl or no?
Bruce has mixed feelings.
Bruce has mixed feelings.
Yes.
So I guess that's a negative on Chaos Dwarf Resculpts then.
Yes, but there's a hope there. We'll come back to Chaos Dwarf in a minute. Okay, so pre-orders for the new version of Blood Bowl are out now. By the time this goes live to the public, they will be on shelves. One thing I have to say, the new starter set is called, and I'm basically just stealing this comment from Justin from Beast of War. It's called Second Season Edition. Why didn't they just call it second season or season 2? It's a really stupid name.
Yeah, there's just there's an extra word, whether it's edition or season.
Yeah, having both is dumb.
So, my main
are we wrong,
concern
Socks?
No, I have to agree. It's some kind of funny wordplay that they're trying to. I mean, they're trying to say that it's the second season, as in the next season of the football season.
Yeah,
but then they have addition at the end, so it's very odd. I have to agree.
Yeah. So the only thing I'm concerned about is, 1, do my dwarf dice still work? And 2, does my dwarf team still work? If not, I really don't care.
no, they do. Okay, so this is where the things get interesting. All of the existing teams still work. However, your rules are going to change, and you will need a copy of the new rule book to get the new rules. So, yeah, I know. It's basically like Blood Bowl used to be originally, where they come out with a new edition, everybody gets new rules.
Right, but I'm saying my set of actual dwarf Blood Bowl dice are still good.
I've never known them to change the dice in this game, so I'd be very surprised.
Exactly. That's it. As long as what I've got I can still use. Cool.
Yeah, they're talking about team tiers again. They kind of make this big thing about how it's not about bragging rights, which I just look at and roll my eyes because this is totally about bragging rights. This is their attempt to explain about how some teams are more difficult than others. So Tier 1 is occupied by the strongest and most forgiving of teams, those that can easily recover from mistakes and mishaps. So this is your lizardmen and your dwarves and so on and so forth. Tier 2 consists of those teams that often require a bit more experience on the part of the coach to excel. They're highly competitive teams, but often a small mistake can prove costly. The example they give here is the Chaos Chosen. Tier 3 are otherwise known as stunty teams. It's home to the most difficult teams to master. No shocks about the Halflings being there. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised about the Goblins being there. They're often victim to a hard time by the bigger and tougher players. They can still perform well in the hands of an experienced coach. I don't think this is the first time they've openly talked about it, but I don't remember this being in the rules before. I mean, Halflings, for example, have always been known to be a very difficult team to play with, but they're also a team that can pull off some amazing things if you know how to do it.
Right, don't they have like a treant that can actually just throw the ball carrier?
Pretty much, yeah. These tiers have no effect beyond bragging rights. Oh, no, sorry, I read that wrong. It is about bragging rights. I'm thinking, yes, it is. It's totally about bragging rights. And yeah, then they talk about the updated rosters. So, for example, you mentioned dwarves. So, a dwarf block alignment is 70,000. MA is movement, right? I'm trying to remember what the things are. MA is 4, strength is 3, agility is 4 plus. I don't remember what PA is.
Passing according to JP.
Passing.
Okay, yeah, 5 plus. AV 10 plus. They come with block, tackle. I don't think that's actually changed much. It might have done a little bit. But your particular rules are actually straight there on the website. They talk a little bit about star players, which doesn't seem to have changed much. And then, oldies but goodies. They do talk about the Chaos Dwarves by showing off the god-awful sculpts from the original game. Sorry, I know that there's fans of them, but I hate these sculpts. I think they're ugly. I think they were always ugly. I know I'm in the minority here. The Chaos Dwarf Blood Bowl team is horrible to look at. But you can actually download the legacy rosters for free. So that gives me hope because maybe they're putting it there. The fact that they're giving these rules out for free kind of makes me think that they're probably not going to redo them because if they were going to redo them, why would they give the rules out for free? But at the same time, they're still in the game, so I could buy third-party stuff if I want to. It's not the way I want to do it, but because what I really need is another game to play that I'm never going to play.
No, that is exactly what you need. Also, while you're at it, Bruce, get yourself like a big old nail and drive it through your foot so you have a hole in your foot too.
That sounds fun. For those that are interested in pre-ordering, if you pre-order...
So one second here, Bruce. So JP, he listens in whenever he can. He said third-party teams are better than the official teams anyways.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you with dwarves. I don't think those are the epitome. Unless you can show me proof, I'm going to say you can't get better than the dwarves that GW puts out for the dwarf team.
There is a company that makes a dwarf team that has a roller that's literally a motorbike.
I've got the Forge World one, so...
Yeah, but is the Forge World one a motorbike?
No, it's a giant combine harvester.
I therefore leave my point at that. It's not a motorbike. If you pre-order the new box set, you get a Steam code so that you can play the closed beta of Blood Bowl 3. Yeah, Blood Bowl 3 is coming out. I didn't even know that was happening. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but I'm not actually sure if they told us that until now.
Next, kind of in the same realm of Blood Bowl, TT Combat has released a teaser for Rumble Slam Booster Tuesday.
Yeah. So these are both expansions for the original two teams. So the original human team has 5 new guys coming, including a character that's a kid that looks like he's wearing underpants on his head.
That's totally underpants on his head.
The description of this guy, this might be my new favourite character, just because of how silly it is. And of course, there's a kid? Oh yeah, that's the lucky winner. He won a contest to appear in the ring with his heroes. He's not very good, but you can't hit a kid, right? So he's terrible, but you're not going to be allowed to hit the guy. I kind of love the sound of this. Yeah, they're all alternate ideas. There's a high flyer, there's a charging blocker, which is this, for those watching the video, is this guy here. There's a new ogre. The ogre flattener is extremely heavy. All the better for pinning you, because the new version of the rules actually allows you to pin people. And I believe that guy's a martial artist. On the side,
I was going to say, can we move on real quick and talk about the mushroom guys real quick? Because
fun guy,
giant mushrooms, a guy that's dealing giant mushrooms in the middle of a ring. Totally not an allegory for steroids. Definitely not an allegory for steroids. I love the fact that one of these ogres has a mushroom growing out of its head that's then flexing its muscles. There's nothing about that that's not cool.
Well, then you got the giant ogre-looking one with the mushroom growing out of his head that's then flexing his muscles.
Yeah, that's the one I mean, yeah. Okay. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, they look like real fun guys. Oh, don't kick me off the show.
Okay.
We've got Scrap Heap and Puggy, which is a guy that seems to be throwing around his friend. And Porcelain, which is totally not China. Definitely not China, but it's totally China.
Yeah, considering some career choices, but yeah. So this is probably one of the best photos I've seen of the game with the board and everything, and God, that looks really good.
Yeah. It represents, I mean, it's very clearly wrestling. it doesn't take much to see that that's what you're looking at. I mean, it's very much it's a Blood Bowl feeling game, but with wrestling. And I'm sorry, what sport entertainment type thing lends itself more to games than wrestling does? It's like it was created for it. That's why there's so many good video games. There's also a lot of really bad ones, but that's another story.
Boy, I'm trying to think.
UFC would be another one that lends itself naturally because it's just basically a fighting game.
Boxing. What's that board game where you shift your car and you have to like downshift and you roll different kind of dice?
Formula D.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got that. That's great.
That is a fun game. I have got 5 of the boards myself.
I still only have the base game.
My kids love it.
I don't even have it. I have only played it once, so yeah. I mean, yeah, it's in that same realm of the theatrical aspect of it.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Christmas stuff?
Not until after Thanksgiving.
Well, too bad. Infinity are releasing a limited edition Fat 1-1, which is the character dressed up as Santa Claus on a motorbike. He's speeding through the snow. He's dropped half of his parcels. And it comes with Christmas socks for some reason. I don't quite know why it comes with Christmas. Because why not, I suppose.
Sounds like something Captain Socks needs to get.
Thanks, guys. Is that a hint there, Bruce?
That was George that said that.
No.
No, I'm just covering because I thought this was fun, and I am trying to cover a little bit more Infinity stuff. So this is another alternate sculpt for that character. There's another one. I'm pretty sure this is the same character that they created an alternate sculpt of him eating some noodles at some point. I could be slightly wrong on that though. Just as I said, a little bit of fun. Next, printable scenery are back on Kickstarter with a Shadow Fae Kickstarter. And this is just, again, really gorgeous looking scenery.
Modular stacking ruins?
Yeah. I mean, they're obviously saying that it's Shadowfell for people that do play D&D. But this is pretty universal, really. It's just ruins. You also get giants, potentially, if you pledge in the right thing. Samson and Jub.
Jub.
Yeah, Jub.
Isn't that who the Ewoks were singing about?
Sure. I quite like the Hermit's Tower because it almost looks like a regular tower until you start pulling it apart.
Yeah.
Because some of this stuff you could just have as a building. And if you want it to be a ruin, you just kind of pull it apart.
Yeah, it is pretty cool that you can stack them on top of each other. Have a couple pieces of ruined terrain.
Yeah.
Well, so check this out. I just had this thought, and this would be good for you, Bruce, since you're the one with the 3D printer for right now.
Yeah.
So the Hermit's Tower, right? You print the base, and you can't print the second level until you get the first level painted.
That's awesome.
Like the squatter townhouse. There's 4 levels. You got to get each level painted before you move to the next level and print that one, Bruce.
I hate you so much. It is a very clever idea.
Because it's a great idea, or because there's no way you'll do it because you'll just print everything off all at once, so you can just have the tower as it is.
If it was me, I would be painting most of this with an airbrush and just dry brushing it. I would not be putting award-winning time into painting this stuff because you don't need to do that for it to look good. It's terrain at the end of the day. The focus should be on your minis, not your terrain. My favourite thing on this is probably the Wizard Tower, closely followed by the Corpse Giant. Because, oh my god, it's a giant made out of corpses, literally.
Ooh, I must need to scroll further. I haven't seen the Wizard Tower yet. Ooh, I like the Shadow Gate.
Yeah, the Shadow Gate's quite good too.
Where is Wizard Tower?
Just past the impaled skeletons.
Ooh, the Haunted Windmill looks great. The Shadow Throne. I should have kept scrolling. There's so much more to scroll down to.
I think you've actually gone past what I was looking at.
Yeah, did you say Wizard's Tower or the Hermit's Tower?
Hermit's Tower is what I was talking about. But if
You said
I heard
Wizard's Tower. Or at least that's what I heard too.
Yeah, I was just like, what? Wizard's Tower?
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's a Wizard's Tower. We all know it's a Wizard's Tower. They're just not calling it that. The Shadow Gate, the Corpse Giant's right next to it.
Yeah. The Shadow Gate, I think, looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
That can be used in any game right there.
Yeah, very much so. Because these things, it doesn't even have to be magical. It's just a ruined entrance to a tower that's clearly not standing anymore.
Or a gate to another dimension.
Yep. Now, George, Jason, are you two edgelords, or do you like playing with characters that are edgelords in 40k? Because if so, you need some metal bullet dice.
What?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not making this up. Somebody is making metal dice that are shaped like bullets. Well, shaped-ish like bullets. It even comes in a case that looks like it's supposed to go into a... I know. It's just so stupid. It's kind of why I like it, though, because it's so stupid.
The phrase you're looking for is a revolver speed loader.
Thank you.
Yes. And just trying to roll these. I mean, you definitely have to just roll them because that's all you're going to be able to do to just.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the point. Oh, these guys are Australian. I didn't even know that. I clearly looked at this very closely.
How is it Australian? You guys don't even have bullets to look at to model them after.
Movies exist.
Not everything in Hollywood's real.
Bullets are real. I've seen them in person.
So my issue with this is I don't like dice that roll.
All dice roll, George.
No. I'm talking like...
I know what you mean. I'm deliberately taking it out of context.
Oh, okay.
You don't like the... You prefer the blocky ones, not the thin ones that you roll that way.
Yeah, So I prefer more of the, there's the three-dimensional aspect, not, a one-dimensional kind of aspect.
Yep.
So, they do look cool. Can
you see why I said edgelord though? Because it's really dumb, but the fact that it's dumb is why I like it. And I'm not calling it dumb because I'm having a go at these guys. I do think this is going to... Well, it's already going well, I think.
Already funded.
Yeah. It's funded and then some.
Yeah.
And everybody likes
real quick,
unique dice.
Hive Mind, Shadowrun. That was D6 based game, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yes, it is.
These would be perfect for that. Because, come on. Bullet dice for Shadowrun?
George, are you a casino dice person?
No, I'm not that. No.
That was JP asking.
Yeah, no. So I think what would be really cool, I can't think of the word. World of Darkness, Vampire Masquerade, Mage, Werewolf, all that role playing system.
Yep.
Do these in D10s for that game system.
That works. Yeah, that actually does work.
I think that would be really cool. Be like, oh, I'm shooting at a wolf. Let me get my silver bullet dice.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want some unique dice, if it's a game that plays with D6s, otherwise you're kind of screwed, this might be up your alley. It's very much, it's very unique. It's not the first time I've seen weapons dice, but it's the first time I've seen bullet dice. Next, we've got some more Marvel stuff. So we've recently had the X-Men released, where you had a look at the pictures for those a couple of episodes ago. This is the Inhumans. They are coming early next year. There are no releases for 2020. Are they human? Depends on who you're asking. They would say no.
Okay.
Technically, I think they are. Technically. But I'm pretty sure they find that an insult. I don't know the Inhumans that well.
So the first thing I'm going to comment on, the big dog mini.
Yes, the good boy.
Living with several large dogs myself, I love the fact that there is a huge slinger coming off of his tongue.
Yeah.
Because those slingers are the grossest, stickiest, sometimes smelliest things that will come off a dog's mouth.
I have been corrected. Inhumans is apparently a derogatory term for them. So it's the other way around. Yeah, the dog is actually probably my favourite here. Medusa and her hair does look really good, but I think the dog is my favourite. Black Bolt also looks good. So, for those that are not familiar with Black Bolt has a suit. Black Bolt will never talk, because if he talks, a whisper will be enough to almost kill you. A whisper will kill a normal person. Black Bolt's one of the only people that Hulk has almost never defeated in combat. That changed semi-recently. And that was only because he was extremely pissed off. I'm not familiar with who this water person is. I know but I don't know what their name is. They control water
Liquid
and fire.
Lady?
Yeah, she controls fire too. I just don't know what her name is. I know Medusa, I know Black Bolt because they're big characters in the mythos. I can't think of the doggy's name. But he's awesome. He's always been awesome.
Because he's a good boy.
He is the best of boys. In Wild West Exodus, there is a legendary Morgan Earp coming out. Now,
who's totally not Wyatt Earp.
Well, so that's the thing that I found interesting, because Wyatt Earp, this usually takes historical people from that era in time and does a what-if scenario with them. It's Wyatt's brother. That's actually about what I was about to ask, is I'm not familiar with who's Morgan. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure Wyatt Earp is actually in the game somewhere. This is very, very steampunky. He has his own droid. I don't know specifically why he has his own droid, but it is kind of cool. Out of pure curiosity, if I do a search, am I right on Wyatt Earp being a character? I am right on Wyatt Earp being a character. I know that you guys can't see this, but for people following the video of it, there's Wyatt Earp. Isn't that interesting? I'll share the link with you. This is an older mini. As I said, I knew that he was a character, but...
Oh, hey, yeah.
There's a legendary...
steampunky as well.
So legendary minis are like a leveled up version of the character. He comes in... Not that box, it must be the other one. He does come in one of the boxes, though. I think it's the Armored Justice box. Nope, it's not that one either. I don't know. He comes in one of them. But there will be a regular version of this mini as well. Just absolutely.
That just after seeing the Morgan and the Wyatt Earps, I'm just like, ooh, this game looks just so cool. I don't need another game.
So Wild West Exodus is a what if scenario. Basically, there was an alien ship that crash landed on this planet that had secretly, like that alien race had been kind of manipulating Earth for quite some time because they want to build us into this race that can eventually join them in their fight against this evil creature that is not actually that evil. Depends on your point of view. And we've found a substance within the ship that we've then used to further our technology, hence the... Because you can't have space punk without it coming from some non-earthly thing. It's a trope for some reason. So it's Wild West Exodus, steampunk. The game itself is really, really good. But at the last point of our news, we have Stars of Ikarios. Did I say that right, Captain Socks?
I think you did. It's not in the run sheet, George, or is it? I didn't see it.
No, I forgot to add it. He gave this to me like 5 minutes before we started. So this is a dungeon crawler in space.
Ooh.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I like the sound of this already.
Gloomhaven type, but dealing with ships in space.
Oh, those look pretty cool.
So
yeah.
I funded the pre-order stage right now.
Oh, I think I saw this pop up on...
Apparently it's been all over Facebook, yeah.
On Facebook too, and that's kind of where I pulled it up from.
So
yeah, I've seen this pop up on my feed. I'm trying to ignore things that come up on my Facebook feed because it makes me cry.
We have not covered this before, so the Kickstarter on this is long and truly overdue. As Captain Sock said, this is in the pre-order stage. It's your final chance to get this with the Kickstarter exclusives and stuff.
Can be solo. Can be up to 4 players.
Gorgeous.
So that's kind of nice how you can do it solo, but also have a group of players as well. They said the campaign runs about 50 hours, which isn't bad for a game like this.
Yeah, that's insane. I like the fact that it's a dungeon crawler that's thinking outside of the box too. Because dungeon crawlers are always essentially just a different version of Warhammer Quest or Hero Quest or whatever. Like it's essentially 9 times out of 10, it's just taking that and making their own version. This feels completely different.
Yeah.
I don't know how it plays, obviously. This is another game using game trays, apparently, which is the organization thing that we got in
SFB.
Yep. The sculpts in this is amazing.
Yeah, the ones that look like they have the big solar collection around the front, the Ronins.
Yep, I was just looking at those. It's got an app. I wonder if that means that you have to use the app.
I don't know how
it describes itself as a companion to the campaign, so hopefully that means you don't have to use it. I don't know.
So actually, I have a game that has a companion app to go with the game. It's called U-Boot.
Yep.
Have you heard of that one?
Nope.
So I'll find it. But you're pretty much a German submarine crew in World War II, and it's got a companion app that goes along with the storyline. So you almost need that for this game. So I don't know what the companion app would be like for Stars of Ikarios. But the companion app in U-Boot, you're pretty much up to 4 players, and each player is a set of crew. So I could be the captain, George could be the first officer, you could be the chief engineer, and JP could be the the navigator or whatnot. And so we each have our own little team of sailors that we're using. And then this companion plays along the storyline of whatever mission you're doing. So whether you have to go and fix your submarine on some repairs, or you find an escort that you got to go destroy. So I don't know if the companion app would be similar to that here in Stars Reactors, but it'd be interesting to fully understand.
For those following the video recording, I'd like to apologise because me looking at the chat for the last 20 minutes means that nobody's cams have been showing up.
Good job.
Yep. So the problem with doing something in the background is you forget that it's there. Okay. So, unless anybody else has anything else, I think that's the news for now.
Yes, it is all your fault, JP.
I don't have an aiming for the end of this episode, but shall we go into hobby time?
Let's shall.
Trim, glue, prime, paint.
All right. Now, what have you been up to, George? Oh, goody, it did work.
I have not been doing much of late.
It's okay, George. Just keep on going.
Really, guys? Again?
Happy birthday, George.
Happy birthday, man.
Thunder Boy. I'm going to mail him something terrible. So in the
It. Sam. Not yet. You want to marinate? You like barbecue.
So for those of you who can't see right now, George is opening up.
Worked hard on
This
this
is
crap,
what,
man.
the second year we've done this, Bruce?
Is this why you spend so much time making the camera look?
No. I mean, most.
At least the second time.
I think it's the third, but it's only this because the first one happened on the Hot LZ.
That's right. That's right.
No, the first one happened at my local gaming store.
Sam, no.
Ooh, did I get a coffee mug?
You gotta open this first.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I have a mouse pad. That's fantastic. Someone's getting. Oh, I'm gonna hurt people. You guys are terrible.
All I can
Terrible,
say
terrible
is the person that picked that T-shirt out.
Why is it because that guy looks more like a...
All I can say is
Oh
the
my
person that picked that T-shirt out did it because they knew you'd like it.
Smell it.
Can I smell?
These are actual like candy crayons.
I'm never letting it go.
Did you see the mug?
I'm getting there.
Can I see?
All right, who's responsible for this shenanigans?
Can I see?
Everybody in the room.
Protects the crayons.
And of course, Thunderboy.
Thunderboy
Protect the
and
crayons.
Casey and us and yes.
You generation.
Dad, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Thanks, Sam. Don't act so awkward about it, child. Jeez.
Protect. No,
Yeah,
you shall
stop.
not be able to protect.
It's his gift.
I now have a coffee mug that's awesome, though.
And a shirt. Did you read all of it?
No, I didn't read all of it
It
because
says
then-
protect the crayons.
yeah, I saw that. The menu is. Oh, jeez, really?
Casey, wait, she can't hear me. Didn't you find this shirt and like it or something?
Crayons was sweet. Elmer's glue. Elmer's glue sauce?
Y'all are terrible.
I had to share how excited you were about the MR just because of that. So,
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna take this into work if I ever go back into work.
I thought it was appropriate either place.
I don't really need a mouse pad here.
I know.
Well, you've got one. So you have to use it.
I do like the crayons though.
Protect the kids.
And they kind of stick with the theme because they're Mexican crayons, and so it's out of US. So, to go with the Netherlands crayons.
Can I see what it said?
That's it. That's all of it.
Well, thank you, you terrible, horrible.
Oh, you're so
It
welcome, my
also
friend.
says game over.
Sam, look.
All right.
Look here.
What have you been up to, Captain
So
Socks?
hang on.
Bruce?
What have you been up to hobby-wise?
Oh, actually, went into got my AAT tank for my droid army built for Legion.
Yeah.
Base coated it, Wraithbone white, and then I took it over to my buddy's house last night. Yeah, last night, and airbrushed it with Skeleton Horde to give it that nice golden brown color that we see on Battle of Naboo.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So he showed me how to airbrush. It was the first time I actually airbrushed, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I've already been looking at airbrushes.
Good boy.
Yeah, finally. After how many years of miniature painting by brush, I'm like, I need to get into it after last night.
I can understand why people are reluctant to pick it up because it's not a cheap thing to pick up, but you don't have to spend a lot of money.
I was looking at my local hobby store, and I found one in Iwata for 150. So
nice. Iwata
Talk to me, Captain Socks. Yeah, talk to me, Captain Socks, and I'll send you some Amazon links to get you an absolute solid setup for pretty cheap, actually.
So I picked one up when I was in England, but it was a single action, and the one I used last night was double action, and so I figured I didn't want to get. I was scared to get into it because it was a single action, but last night using that double action, I was just like, "Holy crap, this is a whole lot easier." So,
yeah, oh yeah.
So I already have a compressor and everything. I just need to get a double action gun itself.
Yeah.
Okay. I can still get you some good information.
Nice.
Really good, solid one that I like. That I think is pretty cheap.
Okay.
Yeah.
George has something he wants to show off and talk about.
Yes. So another Kickstarter. You were interested in Bruce, but the shipping made it not really an option for you.
It was like double or triple the price from memory.
Yeah. I got my lovely dice tower.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So here's the internal view there, Socks.
Oh, that's pretty cool. How it's kind of spiraled.
Right, and then they exit out here. So yeah, and then it's like it's not a solid piece. And then here's the actual tray that the dice fall into. So now it's shipped, and I pulled it out of the box literally like this. Bruce, I pulled it out of the box like this.
Nice.
So this is probably why the shipping was so exorbitant to get it to you. On the one hand, I opened this box, I pulled it out, and I have a very nice looking dice tower. Yeah. On the other hand, though, too, for the majority of us, talking here and whatnot, there's no reason why we can't go through and build this too.
Yeah, that's kind of something I said to you privately. Is that it's cool that they're sending them out that way, but
yeah,
they could have offered a cheaper alternative for those that were willing to build it themselves. They probably would have made more money if they did.
Yeah, now here's my one complaint. Yeah, because they wouldn't have to pay people to assemble it.
Yeah.
So here's my one complaint. So there's little pockets right here on the dice output to store dice that are not in use. Here's my one complaint. You ready?
Yep. I don't see what the complaint is. Oh. There's nothing holding it there. It's just a frame, though.
Yeah, there could have been like a little support piece or something like that, make it a little more.
Look right there on your camera.
Oh, jeez, child. The kid is putting tape on top of my head.
That's what kids do.
He is your child.
I was gonna say, luckily, all mine are in bed, so they won't be doing that right now.
Yeah. Can you go put that on my hobby bench for me, please? Thank you, Sam. So, let's see. I already talked about increasing the space on my workstation for another thing of paints. Yeah. So I'm gonna plug this guy because he's pretty cool. Henrik Hobbies. Little local, well, not local, but a tiny little outfit. Sell scale 75 and all that stuff and everything.
Yeah.
I got the wood and leather and I got the skin scale 75 sets from him.
That's where you were getting that from. Okay. Yep.
Yes. And each shipment came in a handwritten little post-it card. Sam, hand me the little card right there. Nope, not that one. The white one. Now, this is cool right here. Came in both shipments. Oops, let me do this.
Oh, nice.
A handwritten card saying, thank you for your business.
Yeah, I like that.
So, and a lollipop. He sent a lollipop, too.
Nice.
That's about it for me for hobby. I haven't had much of a chance. Things are getting in a position where I think I'm going to be able to start sitting down doing some more stuff. I've been preoccupied with building kitchen cabinets.
Yeah.
So that's been taking a lot of my time and focus. So, what have you been working on, Bruce?
I've been working on a few things. So I'm going to unblur my background.
Oh, I was going to say you did that on purpose. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So this is in a clear resin, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to show off. But I finally have. These are the rat ogres from the Battle Bits. I can't remember what he changed the company name to. I have the rat ogres printed out. I will have to paint these and show them off properly. But size-wise, like just off my hand, like they are perfect scale for rat ogres.
Yeah, that's because Skaven's about what up to the.
Skaven would be
that's
there-ish.
Yeah,
they both come from the same kit. They are both completely different. I could chop and change parts and make them look unique. My plan is to obviously build a lot more of these.
Now, are you printing those or are you ordering those?
No, they're 3D printed.
From your printer.
Yep, from my new printer, which I'll get to in a minute. I also have the Abyssal Dwarf Hellfame, finally.
Ooh.
I got this at an insanely cheap price. This is like $100 mini, and I got it for $55.
AU?
Australian, yep.
Okay.
I have 2 boxes of the Abyssal Dwarf Black Souls Regiment. This can build either Black Souls or whatever they call their gun people. I can't think what they're called right now off the top of my head. I got
Cannoneers?
No, they're called something else. I should know. I got those for $30 each. It's normally a $45 box or so. I don't remember the exact price of those. I was trying to do an unboxing of those when I discovered that my microphone had died. That's actually how I found out, because I couldn't figure out why. Because my audio died like 10 minutes into my thing. So there was originally an unboxing of these, of me taking the wrapper off and looking at the sprues and everything. And only about 3 to 4 minutes of me talking, and everything else was silent. I was very upset.
It's called a voiceover, Bruce.
Yes, very difficult to do if you don't have a microphone.
Yeah. Also, side note, I was just looking at the lovely mug you jerks got me. So this image right here, I actually saw this on one of the Marine pages I follow on Facebook. Some guy got that tattooed on his calf.
Really?
Yeah. I was looking at it like, wait, no, that looks yeah. I can't remember what page it was, but yeah, someone got that tattooed on their calf, and the page comment was just like, who did this? Like,
So our Patreons, in theory, should have known for a good week or two now that my 3D printer died. I had been waiting for a replacement screen for it, which is actually, that's normal because it's a consumable part. The screen that I received to replace it was faulty, unfortunately. But when taking it back apart the second time, I actually broke a cable to the touch screen that you use to control the thing. So I actually killed my printer by taking it apart, trying to figure out why it wasn't working.
No.
Yeah. So I purchased a new one. I purchased one of the mono screen ones, the more powerful ones that we discussed a few episodes ago.
You?
Well, it's the same price now, so I'd be silly not to buy that one. I also, however, received an order from this company. Geek Gaming Scenics is the English guy that makes his own scenery stuff. He's got a really, really big YouTube channel. Is it Luke something? I can't think what his name is. I suspect that that's JP telling me what his name is.
Yeah, that glue is awesome.
Yeah. I've got the spray one as well. But of course, I have actual basing material. That's the modelling compound, which I actually ordered by mistake. I added it to the cart and then thought, actually, I don't know if I'm going to use that. Maybe I don't need that yet, but then I forgot to delete it. But that's fine.
Oh, other news too. I'm still waiting for it. But the Frost Effect from Green Stuff World is on its way to me.
Yes, nice.
It's been out for delivery since the 5th, but looking at it, it left Spain on the 5th. So
yeah,
technically in their eyes, it's out for delivery. So
this is their base-ready patchy planes. I'm going to be using that for my Wild West Exodus. I have some snow. Sorry, but it's white powder inside a bag. It looks like cocaine. This is my snow powder. That will be for Frostgrave, obviously. This is the Tiger Hillsides, or Taiga Hillsides. That's going to be for my Bushido. And I have decided that I am going to completely rebase my Kings of War from scratch. Just because... it's not that I don't like the way that it is now, but there's a couple of items that I have that I want to recreate because they're very, very fragile. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to simplify the scheme a bit. So this is a volcanic rubble, essentially. Volcanic island, they call it.
So Bruce, essentially what you do have those, you got yourself a bag of cosplay for Tony Montana.
Sure.
Scarface, Al Pacino, cocaine.
Oh, right.
Little friend.
Say hello to my little.
I'm sitting here trying to think, what does Scarface have to do with Volcanic Island? It's like, I don't remember that scene. Oh, God. Who was that snorted? Was that you, George?
that was me. If you get me good, I start a snaggling.
This morning when I was washing my Red Ogres, I accidentally kicked over my IPA bottle, and about 2.5 litres of IPA went over my carpet, which was lovely. I have since used 3 towels to mop it up. And I've had a headache for about an hour and a half. It's lovely. The entire house smells of IPA. But otherwise, that's been my hobby.
You know how you solve the problem with IPAs, Bruce?
Not that kind of IPA.
Don't drink IPAs.
No, it's the isopropyl alcohol.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was thinking IPAs like the terrible god-awful beers.
IPA is not that bad. You've got to like it though. You're not a fan of hoppy beer, obviously.
No. So I think that like IPAs are like some people have a genetic marker that makes the cilantro taste like soap. I think some people are like that with IPAs where it tastes like pine sol. So
I have no taste it like that.
No.
the IPAs just taste like pine to me. So
Interesting. Okay.
My mom is
Captain Socks, you hadn't really had a chance to do much, you were saying, hobby-wise?
Yeah, other than my droid tank that I just airbrushed last night, I've been spending the last 2 weeks off of work, spending time with the family since I've been back. Trying to do as much as I can. But now that I'm back to work, and I'll probably be doing some more stuff because I got actually, speaking of hobby stuff, I got my hobby closet back. So my daughter that we moved into my hobby closet while she was still waking up in the middle of the night has recently moved out, and so I have my hobby closet back. So I was just setting up my table actually earlier this week to start actually painting more often. So I'll actually be getting into that a lot more now, which I'm happy about.
yeah, you should be.
Very
You
much
get
so.
your hobby space back.
Apparently Thunderboy has finished 18 Necron Warriors, 3 bases of Scarabs, which he wrote as Scarbs. They're Scarabs, Thunderboy. And a Royal Warden. He's currently working on some more Aeronautical Imperialis. The 4 Thunderbolts. I'm guessing that's a type of ship for Aeronautical Imperialis. So he's busy too.
And I want to say he also I saw on Facebook he got his high caliber stuff painted too.
Yeah, he's been working on that for a little while. That's a good point. I've received mine. Speaking of things I've received, you two talk for a second. I'm coming back. Oh, wait. No, I don't need to. Okay, yeah, you two talk for a second. I need to fix something.
Okay, well Bruce fixes something. I am looking for the airbrush for Captain Socks.
Now, what do you use? What setup do you have, George?
I have a Pache Talon. I think I'm saying that right. Part of the reason why I like it is it has interchangeable nozzles, so you can get you can run through like some thick, like airbrush primer and just blast it through the nozzle, no problem, because you can get up to a nice big nozzle on it. It comes with it, or you can get all the way down to a 0.25 millimeter.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, there's 2 versions. There's a new and what's the difference? Oh no, nothing's changed about the nozzle sizes. So I like it because it comes with the nozzles. So you got 3 different sizes, and it's a poultry 127. I like it because I can shove airbrush primer through the large nozzle, no problem. But then I can put in the 0.25 millimeter and get some good detail and highlighting stuff going with it.
Okay.
Screw it. I'm just going to try and cheat. I meant to upload some photos of the bases that I got for Drop Fleet, which we have discussed Alan's bases before on the Hot LZ, and when I was ordering them.
Let's move this to a...
So, on the right of screen, you can see the ones that I attempted to create myself with some dowel and some MDF. And on the left of screen, you can see the ones that Alan has created and that we have been kind of praising for years now. As someone that now has them in hand, I can definitely say they are 100% better than the original bases. Definitely better than the dowel ones I created. The ones I created were just awful. I mean, the idea in theory worked, but it didn't work in practice. That's the smaller versions. Because for those that have not played Drop Fleet Commander, there's 2 different base sizes. Yeah, I'm beyond happy with those. The reason it's taken me so long to get them is because postage to Australia costs stupid amounts of money, which is not Alan's fault. Alan being laser forged minis, just for the record. So he did a deal where if you ordered a certain amount, that he would cover postage. So I ordered that and got them in the mail. He was very nice to slip me some high caliber as well. Very, very happy. Very, very happy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The high. Go ahead, Sauce.
my compressor already has a moisture trap on it already because I was in England when I got it. So
Well, I'll talk to you after
we can
show
talk
off
offline.
camera about that. So, yeah. So the one thing when I got my stuff that Alan was super about was, are the ships in one piece? Did they break? So I know that's probably been a huge worry and concern for him.
Yeah.
I unfortunately the bases for the ship,
Yeah.
like all of mine got shifted over, but like the movement pieces, those are still fine, but like all the markings on the bases got shifted over, so some of them, he's got some more on the way to me.
Oh, okay.
But
I haven't actually looked at those on mine yet. Mine for that haven't been even opened yet. I will be doing that at some point. I just haven't had the time.
Yeah, his laser forge stuff there on his tokens and stuff is top notch premium.
Yeah,
I will say.
Yeah. But otherwise, I think that's it.
Yeah, we got a little bit game talk here on Thunderboy.
That's last week, so I didn't delete it.
Oh.
That was the conversation about what to do in the So with Polarcon, they're currently filming and trying to come up with ideas of other games to play. The conversation that me and George had was do what you were passionate about, essentially. Maybe ignore the stuff that doesn't need the attention, like 40k and Age of Sigmar. But
right,
we were kind of... Well, we were specific, but it's kind of generic as well, I suppose. We didn't suggest any particular games, but showing off the games that you're passionate about and that need a bigger audience in your area was basically what we were suggesting. Is there anything that you could think to add to that, Socks?
I think it's good that you mentioned those smaller games, those niche games. I mean, especially because Victory at Sea just got rebought by Warlord Games from Mongoose Publishing, and just now they just announced the Italian fleet, and so it's good to see these older games get republished by newer companies or more well-known companies, and so if people aren't showing those off, they're not going to see that these new games are coming out. So it's definitely great when people are putting those as demo in conventions and whatnot.
You don't need to advertise 40k and Age of Sigmar because they essentially sell themselves. Because the player base is that big that you don't need to show people the game. They already know it. Well, if they're interested in the hobby, they already know it. At this particular point in time, the only upcoming event we have is still the current Drop Zone and Drop Fleet unit and terrain design competition. You've got 5 days left for the deadline on that. 20th of November is when that competition ends. So it's a challenge to create a new unit type or some rules for a terrain type to work with the game. There is a separate competition for both Drop Zone and Drop Fleet. So you don't have to come up with something for both. You can come up with something for one or the other, or both, I suppose. Yeah. Thank you for those that continue to support us. You can find us on patreon.com/gettingtabled. For just $2 a month, you can support what we're doing and help us continue to grow and develop our technology and improve our quality of videos and stuff. If you're looking for any of the information we're sharing facebook.com/gettingtabled. We do have a Twitter, which we used to reach out to a couple of people in the community recently. Well, I did. At Getting Tabled. It's also at Getting Tabled for Instagram, which we need to use more. And the website is gettingtabled.weebly.com.
I've used the Instagram.
Good.
I think I'm the only one that used the Instagram.
I think so.
I've used it.
If by chance someone received a DM from our Twitter asking for if they were okay with us discussing a subject, I just want to publicly state that it was us that reached out to you, not somebody pretending to be us. We will discuss that topic in a couple of episodes once things have heated down, assuming that, like I said in the message, you are comfortable with us doing so. For those that are wondering what we're talking about, I'm being vague on purpose. There's been a couple of toxic things happening in the community lately that we would like to cover in depth because it's something we'd like to help stop happening. Otherwise, play more games.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For listening to Getting Tabled. Music used in this podcast was created by Eric Matthias at soundimage.org.
And that's a wrap.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Sorry that I